Friends. Ah, I'm going to teach. I know the wondrous world of the internet. Yeah, yeah, that's how we do it. I know, right? So welcome to this opportunity to move the body. Decided to move it indoors today. It's a really beautiful and sunshiny day outside right now. And so all the friends here at the ashram are hanging out outside. So I thought, you know what, we're gonna have our privacy and sanctity. I will also probably not have a lot of side conversations if we come inside the space. It's really kind of cool. That's a pun. How they build here in Morocco with big, thick stone and thick walls. And so, like this place that I'm in, it's quite cool at the moment, which in just another month will be there'll be a lot of gratitude for that coolness, somewhere to be cool and calm. We are right at the cusp of so many things. The full moon that's coming up, full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, um, and we're right on the cusp of spring. So I think if I looked at the calendar, this officially would be our final sort of winter inspired class, and moving into some springtime practice. So here we are in the cusp, right? We're in the places in between, the seasons in between. And it's really going to depend on where you are in the world and what literally what the weather and the temperature is like. You could still be very much more towards wintry vibes if you're farther up north. There might be a little spring peeking through, but I mean, we're about to hit the spring equinox on the 20th of this month. And so spring is peeking through somehow in your place. And how we feel that in our bodies is really important to observe. Like what is starting to stir, to gurgle. It's like if we could hike in the forest, we might see the little, ice melting and water is moving from those solid states more towards liquid states. And so same thing happens in our body. So what's the solid? Phlegm. What's it moving into? Hopefully not phlegm, but that means that we have an intermediary experience where we need to move and stir and release phlegm. Phlegm literally means phlegm, mucus, but also means stagnation. So don't be surprised. Well, there's also the astrology, but don't be surprised if your mood is a little down. If you're just like, I'm trying to get up and go, but I really can't get up and go. So incremental things, warming, moving, lightening up the food. And that also means that our practice wants to have both rest and movement component. Things that we want to start adding in, like we did last week, very short practice because the power went out. Pavan Muktanasan, the toxin and wind releasing poses. That's very important. Twisting, that's there. A little bit like squeezy holds in forward bends. Why? Because we want to squeeze the abdomen. We want to move phlegm. We want to get everything moving. We might also bring in pranayama practice like this. So as we start going officially towards spring, we'll look forward to some of those practices. So let's get into what we get into. We're starting seated. Finally have a blanket to sit on to help with my sore bits. It's still the same bit. Just locating the breath, finding yourself here on the floor. Marhaba, welcome. Mm. Couple breaths just to center, to arrive to the space, arrive to the practice, and whatever we're going to get into, right? We're drawing the mind inside the body, being present with ourselves. And as the thoughts are arising, things about your day, your week, your month, the to-do list, the oh my God, did I do XYZ? Just let's pause for a second. Have the space together. Checking in, feeling the places and the spaces, feeling the accessibility of the breath. Gently opening the eyes. We're going to start with Pavamuktanasana. We're going to go top to bottom, starting with the thumbs. Make a fist with the thumb on the inside, squeeze, and then flex the fingers. Arms are coming straight out from the shoulders. Shake it out. Make a fist with the thumb on the inside, move the wrists up and down. And move the wrists in circles. Oh, goodness, my wrists have a lot to say. Let's go in the opposite direction. Nice, shake it out. Flat palm, fingers flexed up and down. Nice, shake it out. Making a fist with the thumb on the inside. This is for the elbows. We're going to move through. There could be this little shake on the way out. And the opposite direction. Shrugging the shoulders up and down. Shaking out the arms. Small shoulder circles. Relaxing the facial muscles, jaw muscles. Gentle smile. Opposite direction. Listening to all my internal clicking while we're doing this. Sorry to get the big shoulder circles chased with elbows. Opposite direction. Inhale. Hook shoulder. Shake out the arm. Oh, pausing here. Let's do neck movements. We're making sure hips are tilted forward, chest is forward. Inhale, chin bow up. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Move as much as this feels good. We're coming back up to the center and just real simple movement right and left. Can move as slow or as fast as you like. Ear to shoulder. Let the jaw relax. Might be feeling that interconnectivity of the lap, side of the neck, top of the shoulders, down to the mid back. Hello. We're going to come back to the center, tuck the chin, roll up to the shoulder, roll down to the middle. Inhale, opposite shoulder. Exhale. Only if it feels good. There are certain neck conditions that this is contraindicated. If there's some sort of disc issue, disc degeneration, or bulging at C4, C5, let me skip this one. Back to center, picking up the head. Take a little twist while we're here. Inhale, exhale. So I'm not really pausing much in between, just kind of getting our rhythm going, our flow. Breathe in. Exhale. And that's kind of springtime, right? We gotta get it moving. Wintertime, all the spaces in between. Springtime, let's go. We're gonna go back to the first side. Breathe in. Inhale. Exhale and twist. Backhand is pushing the chest forward, opening up that back shoulder, space in the neck as we twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and twist. Inhale in the pose. Exhale, release. So all this like squeezing and inhaling in the pose, this is very important. Just for a second before we do anything, feel this upper half of the body, a little bit of activation, a little bit of movement. We're gonna swing it around, stretching the legs. I'm still on the edge of my blanket, thankfully. Let's make some windshield wipers. Some wiggles. Might as well do a few knee pull-ups while we're here. Squeezing the quadricep muscles, pulling the kneecaps up and down. Same thing we did with the fingers. You're going to squeeze the toes and then flex each of the toes. Try to make space between the toes. Lengthen each of them, squeeze, and flex. Flex. Every single one of the toes. You might have like a straggler who doesn't want to do it. Give it a little love. Smile at the toes. We're going to turn this into flex and point with the ankle. And circles in the same direction. Let's go opposite direction. Circle. Nice. We're going to separate the feet a little. These are circles in opposite. And switch. And shake it out. Here we are at the knees, doing our knee pull-ups. Squeezing the quadricep muscles, moving the kneecap up and down. I mean, I've been having to give my knees a lot of love lately. Really getting to know all the ways to This is one of them. Could go a little faster. Could wiggle from behind, right from center of the palm, circles around the kneecap. And the opposite direction. And switch behind the backs of the knee circle. So we could call this warming the knees. We're encouraging circulation. Playing with the kneecaps. Do a few more of those knee pull-ups. Happy knees. And we're ready to move onwards up to the right hip. We're either holding from the outside, bringing this arm from the inside. Whoa, that is getting a spot. Circles of the hip. Opposite direction, circle. Cradling and rocking. So this foot could hang out in the wrist, in the crease of the elbow. Oh, this is getting at a spot today. Feels good. Nice holding in the center, a little snug in a breath. Nice breath in. Exhale, half lotus. So the vision here is this foot is coming upwards towards the crease of the thigh. I mean, we'll give it an it all depends on that one. Wow. Encouraging this knee towards the floor. All right, so this is half lotus. This is one way that we cultivate seated meditative poses. This is a way that we cultivate specifically lotus pose. Holding wherever you are as best you can. And we release this leg. And we go. Doing something in there. Some of those knee pull ups. Well, let's try the other side. Circles. In the opposite direction. Cradling and rocking. Holding. Half lotus. Holding. Doing your best. Lord knows I'm doing my best. And slowly releasing. Some wiggles. Some knee pull-ups. Baddha Konasana. Butterfly. Do some little, sometimes I just like massage my toes here. Oh, we do some pelvic tilting here. Forward and backward. I feel that throughout the spine. And circles in the same direction. I mean, just circles in one direction. I don't know what the same direction is. Autopilot. Opposite direction. Yes. Opening the feet like a book, forward fold, or any variation. Slowly coming up, stretching both legs, making some windshield wipers. Nice. We're going to come into wide leg stance from here. I'm going to bring my blanket on around with me. Come into wide leg stance. The struggle is real. Ooh, the idea was it to stop training. Okay, dropped out on you for a second, but we came back. Like, for crying out loud, we could not have just another joint practices again. Inhale back up, exhale over to the opposite side. Glitch in the matrix. Inhale back up. Exhale a little towards the center. Breathe. We're inhaling back up, turning this into side bend. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, opposite arm, either top of the thigh or to the inside of the thigh. There's a little rotation of the chest opening, reaching for that opposite foot. Inhale. And inhale up, both arms. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center, both arms up. Exhale all the way down. Stretch the legs out front. Make some windshield wipers. And we're just checking in, right? If that's our joint activation, just checking in, seeing how things are feeling. From here, we're going to come onto the hands and knees. I'm kind of excited about. Since we've been doing the classes outside, it's a very hard surface. So I haven't been doing this as much, but we're inside. We got soft surface. Let's go. Starting with cat's pose breathing. Fingers spread nice and wide. Inhale, arching, looking up. Exhale, spine towards ceiling. I'm really removing just as much as this feels good. Meaning that arch doesn't have to be your biggest arch ever. Just enough for activation. Come back to the center. Plant the left hand on the floor. Inhale, rotate chest towards ceiling as best you can. Exhale, we're gonna bring this arm through, lower down. Enjoy a little resting pose here. Next inhale, open it back up. And exhale back to center. Plant the right hand. Inhale, opening up the left. Exhale through. Couple resting breaths. Next inhale, opening back up. Exhale back to center, child's pose. We're easing it back and down. Back up into cat-cow. See if we making any headway here. Nice. From here, we're going to take this into side body stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn the head, find a heel. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Back to center, child's pose. Two more breaths. Come up onto the little fingertips and walk them forward, and then walk the fingertips over to the right side. Breathe. Well, I walk to the left. Walk to whichever. Breathe to the opposite side. Walk the hands over to the opposite side. Mm. Back to center and forward with the fingertips. I'm just playing a little as you walk the hands back, rotating under the shoulder blades. Not an easy place to move. Oh, and boy, do we store a lot of tension under the armpits, sides of the shoulder blades. There goes there. And it kind of alternating shoulders, just making stuff up, right? Like getting in those spots. Coming all the way up, we are going to come into little range of motion movement here. So I got my right knee down. Right now, this hip is deciding what it wants to do, which is why we're going to do range of motion. So I'm just at 90 degrees, nothing too crazy. And we're just doing a little pelvic tilting here, tailbone tucks under, hips move back, just kind of opening up around the tailbone. Gosh. Now we're going to take this forward and back. You could tuck the back toes, you could not tuck the back toes. I'm going to do a not tuck today. Just let the range of motion. Inhale. Yep, doing a lot of these today. Groin attachment, quad attachment. That's really what's like super pissed off right now. I'm working with it though. Figuring it out. Let's do the opposite leg. Because first we're just stabilizing, doing a little pelvic tilting. I think we're ready to do more range of motion. Might just bring that foot a little bit forward. Inhale. Nice. We're gonna come back to child's pose. In between a little downward facing dog, fingers spread wide, back toes tuck under. Nice bend in the knees, really just going for the decompression and the rest here. A little light pedaling through the backs of the legs. Coming back down. Child's pose. Range of motion movement for the adductor. So we're coming back into that knees position, but this time we're out to the side. And we want to have that stretch for inner thigh. And so our swaying movement is just going to go side to side. See if we can't open some of that up. Try the opposite side. Nice. We're not forcing here. Gentle movement. Oh, goodness gracious. This is Supta Vajra Asana or earth face stretch. Here, pose for the and big old stretch here. Breathe into the whole front part of the body. As we edge ourselves backwards. Nice breath in. Making our way up. Child's pose with the arms by the sides of the body. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Exhale. Bend in the knee. Soft arch in the low back. A child. We're going to make our way onto the belly for a few back bends. Practicing a little extension. Look at that. Rusty. Hands are by sides of the chest. Legs together, feet together for the most part. Inhale, pushing belly into the floor, lifting with the upper back muscles. Roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together, baby cobra. Exhale down when you're down on the floor. Nice resting breath. Do that 4 more times. Inhale. Roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Big breath in. Exhale down. Breathing through all the vertebrae in this resting pose. Like we're fluffing. 3 to go. Took an extra resting breath myself. Feel free to indulge. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale down. Stretch both arms forward. Half locust. We're going to inhale and lift opposite arm and shoulder. So right arm and left leg lift up, not very high. And exhale down. Left arm, right leg, flex that foot. Getting great activation of the whole back body. Exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. Alternating sides. Last one to each side. Resting for a moment in Adva Asana, forehead to the floor, hands together, legs together, and melt. Sphinx pose. We could come by way of baby cobra. Slide the hands forward so the elbows come under the shoulders, lifting up. So I'm going to share with you something that I learned from an Ashtanga yoga teacher back in the day who had 3 children and was a doula. And she used this variation here in Sphinx pose to align the tailbone. And my tailbone is really an issue for me. Like if I have tension, it's in the posterior part of the pelvis. So coming up onto the toe tips, and then just kind of feel how you can extend through the heels. And notice how the muscles around the tailbone actually relax when you do this. If they don't, then I don't know, maybe don't do it. And then kind of with that flex, bring one foot over the top and flex the bottom leg. You get a real squeeze around the tailbone and the tailbone releases. Obviously, if any part of this doesn't feel good, then skip it. I usually just take a couple breaths with each foot on top. Releasing and come into crocodile. Elbows on the floor, chin into the hands. And then for me, I just keep breathing to the tailbone, releasing around there like, hey, tailbone, you just don't need to grip. You can move freely. Hey, muscles around the tailbone, you also don't need to grip. If I feel like there's kind of pressure on my vertebra, I draw my navel inwards, especially in Sphinx. Just to lessen the pressure on those lower lumbar vertebra and the discs in between. What we're doing right now is called extension of the erector spinae muscles, the long muscles on the sides of the spine. And this is the type of movement, extension, mainly found in back bending, that relieves the muscles of the back. We're often thinking, oh, my low back is tight, let me forward fold, forward fold. And sometimes that's the issue. So the next pose we're going to do, releasing, coming down. Oh, gosh. Next pose is an alternative forward bend for when forward bending is contraindicated in the low back. So no flexion. This is our one pose that we can do. So you're going to draw flapping fish. We've done it a million times because it's one of my favorites. We're going to draw the leg up towards 90 degrees and push it out a little bit too. So we just get that little stretch in the front of the groin. Options with the arms center. You could move the arms to the side and rest the head, or you could go all the way that this elbow is resting on the leg. I'm going to try this today. And we're just going to super duper breathe into the hip. And let all those muscles that attach those glutes that attach in the low back, also front part of the groin, everything just lengthen and relax, including piriformis. So we use this yoga therapy pose for sciatica because we're stretching the piriformis and hang on, this word will come to me any second, like depressurizing the sciatic nerve. Mm. Another one of those design issues. The sciatic nerve innervates under the piriformis muscles. The piriformis gets tight, it just squeezes the sciatic nerve. Similarly, the design of the prostate for bodies with penises and prostates, like ruh-roh, whose idea was it to put the very thin vessel that carries the urine from the bladder to the urethra and wrap the prostate around it? Like, hello, prostate swells, then you can't pee. Design issues. I've got a little list. So for somebody like me with all this posterior tension and extremely tight glute experience at the moment. Also some issue with this like quads and the groin attachment site that like this pose is kind of heavenly. It's just decompressing everything. That was the word I was looking for before. All right, let's switch it up back to center. This leg comes down over to the opposite side. You really want to go for symmetry here. However high up the leg was, however far out it was, what you did with the upper body if you can, repeating that on the opposite side. Mm. Nice. So 10 breaths is what I counted, which is about a minute. You could stay in that pose 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We're gonna bring up the fishtail and flap the fishtail from side to side. Mm-hmm. Child's pose. Could use your elbows to push up. And we are back to seated position. Backling for a minute with my blanket. Legs are extended. Next, we're going to do Janu Sirsasana. Right foot comes in, presses on the inside of the left thigh. Front foot flexed. We don't have to go that far. We really just want this quality stretch. Inhaling up, exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, exhale. I think I kind of folded my blanket really high, but go with it. Left leg comes in, presses side of the thigh. Next inhale, back up. Yeah. Seated twist. We're gonna bring Mrs. Marichi Asana 1. So we're gonna give a little sweep to the flesh, draw the right foot straight back. Actually, just kidding. That's Marichi Asana 2. We're gonna bring the right foot over the left, flex the left foot, wrap with either the arm or the elbow. Backhand pushes the chest forward. Breath in the pose. Exhale, switch sides. Left foot over the right. Wrapping with the wrist, with the elbow, turning towards the space behind you. Nice breath there. While we're here, Marichi Asana 2 is when you draw the right foot, probably because I have this like nice big blanket. You draw the right foot straight back and wrap. Could be elbow. It's a super squeezy. Where do you breathe? Back body. I haven't done these poses in a while. Marichi Asana 3 would come from here and wrap around. Been a hot minute. Marichi Asana 2 on the opposite side. Nice breath in. Exhale. If you want to play with where we're headed, Marichi Asana 3. Feels so good. I love these kind of poses. I just haven't done them in so long, so I have like 0.0 range of motion with those shoulder blades. But you do it like that, inch by inch, right? Centimeter by centimeter. Oh, that was a nice twist, Marichi Asana 2. Energizing. We're gonna come full circle back to where we started. We're here in Sukhasana, easy pose. Maybe something's easier in easy pose. Ah, see how you're feeling. And decide for yourself what could follow this movement portion. A pranayama practice, yoga nidra, meditation. Was this it? We're enjoying these final breaths here and then we're into the next day. Who knows? But we did something for ourselves today. We moved, we aerated, we decompressed. All part of the project, right? Keep chipping away a little bit at a time. I'm very thankful that we had a full practice today in this beautiful space here in the sacred time of Ramadan. And I'm going to encourage you to keep moving. That's what I'm going to do. Thanks, friends. I want to see you soon.